My Metabolic Mamas, welcome to episode 2. If you're watching this on the YouTube, I'm bundled up. It's freezing here in Los Angeles. If you're in like the Midwest and it actually is freezing, I apologize for that, but I run like really cold. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about why cheat meals are going to be your hidden secret weapon as a mom to your fat loss and hormonal optimization and metabolic optimization, everything, just overall health. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that. And make sure you guys stay till the end or listen to the end if you guys are listening to this on iTunes or Spotify. Sorry, my throat, like if I sound weird, I'm just getting over a cold. It's not the cocoa, so I'm good, but we all got colds in here and it's going away, so good. But make sure you stay to the end of this or listen to the end, because I'm going to show you how to actually put cheat meals into your specific diet model, so you can continue to see results, make progress week after week, day after day, get on that 2-3 pound per week of fat loss trajectory, or increase your muscle mass, your performance, your overall health, whatever your goals are, respective to that. So what we think cheat meals are and what actually cheat meals are two different things. There's like this picture that's freaking viral of The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He has like these massive cheat meals. I think he has them like once every other month, but they're like pancake stacks of like 12 pancakes and then like 80 rolls of sushi and like a whole pizza. Like that's his cheat meal. And people think that that is what a cheat meal looks like, when in actuality, a cheat meal is something that's like pretty small and moderate in moderation, right? But that fits into that person's specific diet model, whether they're doing macros or keto, whatever it is. It actually fits in there, so they'll see progress. Like if you did The Rock's cheat meal, and if it was like massive, you did that like once a week, you would gain weight, a lot of weight, which is why cheat days are complete bullshit, because most people are eating like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If you eat that much calories and that much inflammatory foods, you are going to gain weight. And they usually do that weekly, right? They do a cheat meal or cheat day weekly, and that's why cheat days do not work, and that's why cheat meals have to be structured in a specific way, which I'm going to teach you guys how, so make sure you guys stay to the end. But a cheat meal is something that's, it's basically, I follow the 80-20 rule for my clients, sometimes a little more lax, 70-30, but that means basically 70% of your foods are coming from clean, nutrient-dense foods. 30% is basically the opposite, right? It could be alcohol, it could be cookies, it could be ice cream, it could be pizza. You can see that I'm a big dessert guy. But basically, that is a cheat meal, right? And then that 30% of those calories are going to come, and you can have a meal or several, meals, however, depending how many calories you have or whatever your diet model you're following, is going to allot for you. So for me, typically my 20% is like a dessert, like 2 cookies or something like that. About 3. What is mine? About 300 or 400 calories a day. I'm at a lot of calories. I'm a big dude. But it's gonna be different. And then obviously you can save those up. I only recommend saving those up for like 2 meals, 2 days rather, so you can have a bigger cheat meal. So for example, say you're on calories, right? And you're at 1,600 calories a day. So 10% is 160, 20% would be 320. If you want to have something big like 640 calories of some sort of cheat food, you could save it for 2 days. I wouldn't save up any more than that. Other than that, it's going to like inflame you way more, and it's going to be way more detrimental to your progress than anything. So that's what a cheat meal is. And why we use the 80-20 rule is, you guys heard me say inflammation right there, and 20% is going to inflame your body. Inflammation isn't like necessarily a horrible thing for you, but too much inflammation is. And so that's why we keep 20% of it capped out at inflammatory meals, because it's going to, if you get any more than that, it's going to slow down metabolic processes, physiological processes responsible for hormone optimization, and so on and so forth. So keeping the majority of your diet coming from metabolic, anti-inflammatory foods, like I covered on the last podcast or YouTube video if you're watching this on YouTube, is what you want to focus on. And I have a whole guide, so if you want that, it is pretty easy to get. Dylan A. Conrad, that's my social media handle on Instagram. Just DM me, I'll get you a free copy just because I love you. So why the 80-20 rule is so important. We obviously talked about keeping high anti-inflammatory diet going on, right? But also having cheat meals structured into your diet is going to be a huge benefit for sustainability. And so when I talk about sustainability, I want to bring this up because 90% adherence to your diet does not equal 90% results, right? If you're 90% compliant throughout the week, but 10% you just, it's whatever, you're not going to see 90% results. You're probably going to say like 50% or even nothing, or you'll go the opposite direction. And so it's got to be 100% adherent. And if you're having a diet that you're eating clean every single day and you're in a calorie deficit and you feel super freaking deprived, you are going to fall off on the weekend after you're exhausted from the whole week and feeling deprived and like probably really freaking hungry. So that's why it's so important to structure these cheat meals in throughout the week so you can have a psychological break and not feel like you're on a diet. You feel like you're on a diet, first thing you want to do is, binge the other direction, right? So we got to be 100%. And so it's got to be a diet model that is realistic and that's enjoyable. And for me, drinking alcohol and eating cheat foods like cookies and candy and pizza is enjoyable for me. And it's realistic, right? If you're like, I could eat a cheat meal a day and just like the rest of it's clean, that's going to feel sustainable, right? And doing this method forever, if you are on if you're in a calorie deficit or reverse diet or whatever it is, you're on macros, logging your food for the rest of your life isn't going to be sustainable. But for you to see, I'm guessing you're in the middle of your Rocky cut scene, where like, and you're like training, you're losing body fat. You're like in the middle of your goals, right? You're in the middle of your process of losing body fat or gaining muscle, whatever your goals are. So it is, you have to log at that point, right? But all of our clients, and I'll do a whole separate podcast on intuitive eating. You need to get to a place where your metabolism built up enough and you can eat intuitively so you don't have to log your food ever again, but you can maintain the results that you got from logging your food. But it's going to be the fastest and it's going to be an effective way to lose body fat and keep it off, which is food logging. So, sustainability, people always talk about that and they're like, sustainability, it's something that you're doing and you can do it forever. It's like, well, no, not really, because we don't have a crystal ball, right? We can't see into the future. We can't see what we're going to be like or act like in 5 or 10 years or what our lifestyle is going to look like, right? But it's something that sustainability to me is something that you feel like you could do right now indefinitely. You're like, yeah, right now I can indefinitely do that. And something that's realistic and enjoyable, right? And that's going to change and that's going to be something that's in flux and not like a black and white. It's going to be in a continuum, which is why people always try to do like the same diet and replicate it, and like it never works because they're in a completely different phase in their life and they're probably doing something that was completely not sustainable, like working out 5 times a week and just eating clean every single day, and they're like, well, I saw her get results, I'm just gonna do that again. It's like, okay, well, good luck. You have freaking 2 kids and stressed out to the max, and your recovery's in the shitter and your metabolism in the shitter and your hormones in the shitter. But yeah, but so anyways, I'm gonna hop back. That's why I keep looking at the screen. You guys watch this on YouTube. Like I'm trying to stay on track for you all. But adding in daily or every other day cheat meals, like I was talking about, is going to have such significant psychological benefits for you to adhere 100% that diet. And so at the end of the day, food typology is probably going to matter the least in terms of your overall results. So first we're looking at overall caloric intake, then we're looking at protein intake, then we're looking at fats and carbs, then we're looking at actually first is recovery, but I'm just talking about nutrition here. And then last is gonna be food type, right? And so as long as your overall food is balanced and it's fitting to the overall picture of your diet model, adding in cheat meals will have a huge psychological benefit for you to adhere to that every single day, day in and day out. And the diet, to maintain that deficit, it's gotta be 24/7. And if you're feeling restricted because you're just eating clean and you're also in a deficit and you're kind of hungry, you're gonna fall off, right? You don't have, no human has that much willpower, especially if you have kids and you're exhausted already. You hear my kid in the background. You're gonna fall off, right? So we want to make sure that your defense is your best offense. So there's a lot of physiological benefits that are happening from these cheat meals as well. So if you're having a refeed day where you go calories a little bit higher on the days, you have maybe 2 days a week that the calories are a little higher, than 5 days they're a little bit lower, so your average is staying in a deficit. Those 2 refeed days, they're gonna allow you to have better exercise performance, right? Because you're getting more energy. You're going to have better recovery, and better hormone optimization. You're going to help preserve the muscle mass during a fat loss phase. It's going to help you balance your hormones, like I was just saying. It's going to help you boost fat loss and actual preserve hormones. There's I think it's the leptin hormone that's responsible for burning fat. So that might be really impacted. Research is showing that in a positive way for you to help you speed up your metabolism. And it's also going to help boost your fat loss. I already just said that, sorry. It's going to make dieting, like I was saying, easier psychologically. And that is researched. They give groups that have like cheat meals and then clean, and the psychological aspect of sticking to that diet is like a lot easier. They'll have a lot less rate of fall off because people fall off in every study, and they'll have a lot smaller population that actually falls off and actually continues the whole study when they have the cheat meals in there. So that's basically why you should do cheat meals. I hope I convinced you already. Personally, I do them, and I do them with all my clients. And when I was doing this versus when I was not myself, for me, I have a whole, if you've been following my stuff, I have a history of binge eating. Right? This goes back to when I was a child, 8 years old, just binging. Ugh, I never threw up or anything like that, but I was a binge eater, right? And I still am, and it's still something that I work with every single day. But I'm doing a lot less. And once I introduced cheat meals into my whole model, structured, I was not only able to see progress, but it felt really good. It felt sustainable. It didn't feel like I was on a diet. And I had been dieting since I was 14 years old. And, I would go into these things where I'd see a ton of fat loss and I'd feel really good. And, people would notice that when I was really young. Definitely too young to be dieting. But when I was doing that, it would just lead to so much restriction and such a big swing in the other direction that I would just end up binging, and just ending back up right where I was. So in my 20s, when I realized there's this whole thing called flexible dieting, which is basically you can eat any food that you want as long as it fits into your diet model, that's when it really that's when the light bulb clicked for me. And still something I do. I pretty much have a cheat meal almost every single day. I love donuts. I love we got these I think I don't know how many ounces that is, but it's I think it's a half pound cookies. Cut them up obviously and weigh them all out, but have those every throughout the week, and just it's just such a nice psychological break, such a treat, because I'm competing in November, so I'm prepping for that in a physique competition, and so having these every single day, and so I still log my food because I'm still trying to get leaner, has just been such a nice break, and it's something I look forward to every single day. It doesn't feel like I'm restricted or want to kill myself. A lot of the people are eating food. I can eat food with everyone, so it's pretty cool. Sorry about that, printer is going off in the background. But okay, so how to structure your cheat meals? Super simple, right? Take how many calories you're at per day. If you're a fat loss phase and you're a woman, eating 1,500 calories, you would just basically take 20% of that, and that would be your food for the so that'd be your cheat meal. So 300 calories of that day can be allocated towards whatever food you want, right? If you're doing, so that'd be one way to do it. And obviously, like I was saying earlier, you can save it for 2 days and have about 600 calories of, hyper-inflammatory foods. The other option is you can have refeed days. So if you have 2 higher calorie days throughout the week and the rest are a little bit lower, as long as your weekly average out to your deficit number, which would be, in this case, let's just say example would be 1,500, like I just said in the other example. Those higher days, those refeed days, will have more of a higher percentage of cheat meals in them. So you just have basically 2 days, and you would save up whatever the total average is for the week. So you take the average times by 7, and then times that by 20%, and then that would be your total calories that you can have in those 2 cheat days separately. So that'd be like a cheat day, right? Refeed day. And another option is you can actually use these as a diet break without logging. And this is where we teach our clients intuitive eating, to where basically you don't stuff, don't starve, just to kind of make it easy. Obviously, there's a lot of skills and stuff that you need, and that's why we teach our clients what we do, where we take them in intuitive eating, but you don't have to log your food, right? It's kind of like a diet break. It's a psychological break. and you don't have to look. So those are the 3 ways you could implement it. Super easy. And yeah, so I hope this helps. I hope I convinced you why you need to have cheat meals, and they are going to be your hidden weapon from a fat loss and sustainability perspective, but also just like in a life enjoyment. Because like, who wants to go out to eat and or like, you know, have all these sweets around you and have all this food? Like, it's meant to be enjoyed, right? So anyways, love y'all. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. If you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, subscribe. And love y'all. Happy holidays.